Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, April the 19th, 2023. Wednesday, April the 19th. Well, we got Nate feeling guilty. Oh, so guess what he did? He says, I took the day off work because I hadn't seen you. And I miss you so much, Elena. When I woke up, you were already gone. She's like, yep, had to go to the gym, you know? And he's like, yeah, I just want to just spend some time. Cause she goes, what are you doing here? She's like, you're not going to work? And he goes, no, I wanted to, you know, spend the day with you. See, now here's the problem I have with that. You're guilty and you're trying to do this out of guilt. I'm a doctor on a schedule. You didn't even check to see what my schedule is. But you're going to take off and then you're going to find me and say, hey, I want us to spend the day together. I got patience, Nate. I have patience. No. When I want to schedule time off, it has to be scheduled at the hospital. And then I try to get you to take some time off too. What do you say? Oh, I'm new to the job. Oh, no. It wouldn't look good me taking time off now. See? So Elena's not playing. She's like, I want to know. I want to know why was Nick coming at you like that? And Nate backpedals and lies and talks about Nick has had it in for me ever since Victoria fired Sally and gave me Sally's job, which is true. However, Nick knows you trying to roll in the hay with his sister in the office. Period. So something's going on and you're supposed to be in a loving relationship. And so Elena's like, so really it's just he's upset. He said, yeah, and then with Phyllis's death, Nick is all over the place. He's upset that I have such immediate access to Victoria. But I have to follow my boss's lead, he says. And so I'm the COO, Nick, right? I'm Nick right now, playing to be Nick. Yet you're having all your major meetings about major acquisitions, and I'm the chief operating officer, but you're having these meetings and these conversations and you're making decisions with the CEO of the media company. He doesn't have a say in Newman Enterprises acquisitions. He does PR. Okay, he handles media, Victoria. So in Nick's defense, to whom I would never defend Nick because he's a pompous jerk the majority of the time, he is right. All this extra hand-holding of Nate is unnecessary. You would never never did include Adam and stuff like that, or Sally. Neither one of them, right? So she kind of is pretending to buy it. She's accepting his explanations just to not ruffle feathers because she has no real proof. And Nate doesn't know that Audra is in this ear while he's in this ear. See? He don't know what Audra's doing. But speaking of Audra is about to be sliced and diced by Victoria. You know how Audra is famous for her snide innuendo comments, right? And Victoria is catching every one of them. So Victoria gives her a folder and says, you'll be happy to know that last night we decided to buy whatever the name of that company is. So yeah, Nate and I decided to buy it, right? And so Audra looks, she goes, oh, so you had a meeting on it went last night? And Victoria looked at her and said, you do understand that when I choose to have a meeting with my CEO, it doesn't automatically mean the COO of Newman Media is invited. Oh, well, it's just I like being on top of things the way you do. Oh, Victoria kind of leans back and she looks at her. See, on top of things the way you do. Little innuendo comment. And so she goes, what did she say? She goes, I hope. Wait, Victoria told her some snide comment back. Oh, that no, you are always going above and beyond. I see that. She goes, but your work should speak for itself. And so Audra turns and she goes, oh, is that a comment? Because I made my intentions clear with my ambitions. And Victoria said, oh, I like ambitious people, but I also value loyal people more. And so she makes this other comment, some other comment about Nate and Victoria. And Victoria looks at her again, and Victoria comes back with a comment, and Audra says, wait, is that a compliment or is that a criticism? Oh, so you got that comment. When Audra came back, because when Victoria said it, I said, oh, okay, Victoria, that's a little snap back. Good, snap her back. And she goes, wait, is that a compliment or a criticism? And Victoria just looks at her because she don't have to answer her. So Audra's like, I just want to rest assured where my loyalties lie. It is definitely here, and I'm here for the long haul. And so guess who had taken the whole day off, right? Guess who ends up showing up at work? Nate. And Victoria's like, oh. He goes, yes, I just want you to know I decided to come in after all. And I will be here, for the most part of the day, the rest of the day. And Audra says, what did she tell him? Oh, did you see or get the podcast I sent you? I would like to discuss it. And so he looked at Audra and he goes, I saw it in the email, but I didn't have a chance to look at it. I'll be around later and we can discuss it. So then Audra says, oh, Victoria tells me that you all decided on whatever deal. Congratulations. She goes, last night I was looking for you I forget what she tells Nate she was looking for him. She goes, and I couldn't find you. No, before she says congratulations on the deal, she goes, oh, last night I was looking for you to do X, Y, or Z, right? But I couldn't find you. Where were you? So Victoria looks at Audra, because Audra's looking at Nate like, this is innocent. I was just looking for you to tell you whatever. And Nate said, I had some things I had to get on top of. And I thought, yikes. Boy, that was loaded, right? He was on top of Victoria. And Victoria's just sitting there and she's looking at Nate, but she's looking at Audra because Victoria had already told her last night they settled that deal, right? And she's just checking out Audra. And so Audra goes, oh, you know what? Right. Victoria did tell me you settled the deal last night. So you already knew. You wanted to see what he was going to say, and you wanted to do it in front of me. And Audra has, if you look at the picture, she calls herself having this little, like, I could one up on anybody. I could say all these things, and I see if I get a stir out of you, and then no, that's, you must have misunderstood what I meant. No, nobody misunderstands Audra. But Victoria is kind of got her claws out for Audra, which is really good. I like it. I like that because Audra deserves that. She's not the smartest cookie in the cookie canister. Okay, she thinks she is, you know. So she leaves, and Victoria and Nate talk. They close the door, of course, and Victoria's like, "So you just had to come back in, couldn't stay away, huh?" You know, she's still flirty, ready to pick up where they left off, right? And so Nate says, "Yeah, and one of the reasons that I took off is I really needed to really take some time, step back, Victoria, and think about what's happening." And no, it can't. He says, "I am in a committed relationship with Elena. And we definitely crossed the line, and that cannot happen again." And so Victoria, she's standing like all up in his face, and then she puts her hand on top of his head. She ain't quitting, right? That's almost what they're doing, is a reverse sexual harassment. And I'm loving it because I want her to get the smackdown behind it. Nate is so unpredictable with what he would and would not do. If Victoria completely makes it so that he loses Elena and he knows it's her, oh, she's going to have some trouble from Nate, because he's telling her time and time again, and she keeps trying to pump him full of liquor and coming on to him. Now, if the tables were turned and it was a male doing that to his female direct report, oh, that's some real trouble, right? But isn't it funny? We don't really look at it that way when it is the same thing. It's the same thing. And Victoria is using her authority over Nate to get what she wants. So I can't wait for something to happen, because this is not going to end well. So Victoria says, "I know how to keep things strictly professional." And so Nate turns away and he walks to the back, to that table behind her desk, and she's facing her desk looking like, because she told him, "You might be saying this, oh, and I can accept you saying it, even though I know, oh, you don't mean it." She tell him straight to his face, "You don't mean it." Like, "Oh, I know you want me. You will be right back doing what we were doing." And Nate is kind of like, "No, I'm telling you, this can't happen," right? So as he walks to the table, he says, "Now this won't affect, again, I don't want this to affect our working relationship. This won't affect it, right?" And she's like, "No." But she's not looking at him, as she's thinking, okay, now I have to plan an out of town trip, right? That's going to be her next thing. An out of town trip. And that's where she's going to get him. Come to LA. Oh, this meeting or that meeting is canceled. We got some time. I bought a swimsuit. Go get you one. We gonna sit out here at the beach, and she gonna be in hardly nothing, and all kind of. Victoria, she's a hot mess. So then we have Tucker. Ooh, this is the first time I saw Tucker blow up on Ashley because he broke the news that Devon wasn't buying his company. But he did it in the worst way. He had champagne and a long stem rose for Ashley. So she's coming in, said, "Oh, wait, oh, champagne this early?" He goes, "Why not?" So she goes, "Slow down and tell me all the details on how Devon is buying your company." And he goes, "Well, actually, that's not happening. Devon is going back to work with Lily at Chancellor Winters, and he's not buying my company." And she's like, "So then what's all this?" And he's like, "Well, because I want us to continue on with our relationship." And she's like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "You and I, even though we were supposed to have a pretend engagement, I really want a relationship with you, Ashley. And you want one too." And Ashley's like, "Wait, She says, "Tucker, I'm going to tell you something. I made you no promises, none. I genuinely wanted you to be able to mend fences with your son, and I was hoping it would be by Devon buying your company. That was my major, major goal." Oh, he called her a narcissist. She loved torturing him. And Ashley's like, she's taking all this verbal stuff he's throwing at her. She's getting a little teary-eyed. But she told him, she says, "Tucker, I am not stupid. I'm not naive, and I'm not stupid." She says, "Oh, you've changed, Tucker. What about Audra?" And he's looking like, she goes, "Don't think I'm stupid enough not to know there's a little something going on there, isn't it? And there's a little something that's been going on there. Oh, that's you, Tucker. That's what you do. And isn't it funny? Ashley was right. There is a little something, was a little something, and could be tonight a little something going on with Tucker and Audra." So 100% right, Ashley. So after he tells her off, he goes, "I'm going to sell my company and I'm getting out of Genoa City for good." And she goes, "Oh, is that supposed to be a threat?" Oh, and that's when he really went off. And so as she's walking by, after he stops ranting at her, she just walks and she picks up her purse. She takes the rose, breaks off the neck of the rose, or the petals. And as she's walking by, she throws them up towards his face. And she throws the stem back as she's hitting the door. And she just walks out. She don't even engage because she doesn't have to. She's not giving him what he wants. She just had this fantasy that he had Ashley, and he didn't. Yes, she does have emotions for him, but the hurt that he did on her the last time he was in town ran deep. Affair with 2 women, no, ran deep. And he really hasn't changed at all. So what else happens is after Ashley leaves, Tucker calls Victor. Victor comes over and he says, "Tucker McCall, so what's the what brings me here?" And he goes, "I'm going to sell you my company for a reasonable price." And he goes, "Do you still, I know Newman doesn't want it, but do you want it?" And he goes, "Yes, I do. I want it for my son Adam to run." He goes, "I don't care what you do with it." And so Victor's like, "Okay." And so he says, "So you leaving town for good?" And so Tucker says, "Well, if the price is right." So Victor says, "Oh, so if I throw on some extra, you're gonna leave for good?" And so Tucker just looked at him and said, "I'm gonna have my attorney draw up the sale, the contract for sale, and this deal is gonna be done." And so they shake on it, deal. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of happy to see Adam with McCall Unlimited. Because see, isn't it interesting? Sally is supposed to be working with Jill, but Jill, did she ever truly, truly give them the green light? I don't think so. We've been so busy with Sally wondering, why is my stomach getting bigger? You know? And what's going on up here? Hey, they're tender. Huh? Hey. She hasn't thought not one bit about the business that she and Chloe are trying to build together. So watch, with McCall Unlimited, Adam's gonna somehow hire Sally. That'll be good. He would love for Sally to be his COO. Victor would have a fit, but Victor would rather have Victor would rather have Sally with Adam than Sally with Nick. So I'm actually happy to see that Victor is buying McCall Unlimited. That's a good alternative as far as I'm concerned, and I like it. I like it a lot. So let's go to Comment Corner. We have Lisa. Lisa says the EMT can get an immunity deal to prevent him from doing any previous time. I can't wait to see how Summer realized that her mother made her look like a fool. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the way Phyllis is going to design her comeback, it's going to be like she was a victim and got away or something. I really, really do. Audra says, it is public knowledge. Wait, is it public knowledge yet that Phyllis was poisoned? You know, I don't think so. I think you're right, because Summer mentioned it and she was supposed to keep that information under wraps. I think Summer's going to have to move out of the Abbott mansion for her sanity. I don't think so, because remember, Jack kept telling Christine, just tell me a little bit. What is it? What's the evidence? What do they see? I don't think so, because he would have told Michael. And Christine didn't want that to come out until discovery, when she has to turn over information to the attorney. So Victor and Nikki were just a little too arrogant in their conversation with Michael. Victor threatened Michael with losing his job. And like you said, Victor needs Michael more than the other way. They act like they had control over him. And you could tell by the sour look on his face, he didn't like it one bit. It completely turned the tables on his decision not to represent Diane. I know. He's like, they had to do this strong army thing instead of just letting Michael. He needed some way to just finally say, okay, I'm not going to do it for Lauren, right? And for the memory of Phyllis. The bad part is that Lauren will be pissed he took the case, but if Michael quits or Victor fires him, that will make her happy. I know, because Lauren does not want him working for Victor. And I'm with you, Lauren, right? Michael be taking the fall for anything with Victor. And then Dito says, daily recap lady, do you remember the picture that Phyllis took on her phone the night that Jack was stealing Nikki's necklace in Chicago? It was a photo of Stark and Diane having drinks. Just think what she could do with that. Now, some advice for Sally. Please stop by the local bookstore and get an advance copy of Dear Future Mama by Megan Trainor. Lock yourself in your hotel room until you finish it and shut up. LOL. Another subject. The accountant Milton. He was the one meeting with Nikki. I think he was on Monday's show. Were we supposed to recognize him? And if so, I'm drawing a blank. But that guy gave me a creepy vibe. LOL. Does anyone know the significance of why they showed Milton? I didn't know who that guy was either. He looked like a pervert. But was it some goofy person? To me, there was some guy that wore his hair slicked back that was I don't know. He did remind me of somebody from the past, but he was much thinner. And I think he wore his hair slicked back and it was darker. I can't remember all the way though. And then Libby says, I think Milton was just a cameo appearance as part of the 50th anniversary, bringing back old characters. Um, I could be wrong, but I think he was an isolated mention of comic relief. Nick, nice to see you, sister friend. And then Dito says to Libby, I didn't have a problem with him, but as a longtime viewer, I sure couldn't remember him. He was some kind of squirrel. I know, squirrely, like that scientist guy that Ashley was dating, and he helped cover up Hillary's death. That weird guy. Um, that's who he reminds me of. So glad to see you're posting on your safe and you're safe. Yeah. Heard about the 26 inches of rain in Florida. Oh my God. Keep safe, Libby, keep safe. Thank you so much for the comments. That's it for Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.